After rallying more than 30% this year, Raymond James thinks that Dick's Sporting Goods has gotten ahead of itself. Valuation is just too high, they say. The analyst resumes coverage of DKS today. Underperform is the rating. That's a sell, right, Doc?
It is, and it's kind of surprising, Scott, because I've got Goldman Sachs, UBS, Stifel, all moving targets up on this name, not moving targets down. So, kudos to Ray J for, fighting that trend. I think the others are going to be right, and Ray J is going to be wrong on this call. But I think obviously the market will tell us, as it usually does, by either endorsing this with buying or selling.
I would guess that the analyst is leaving himself room to upgrade this in the near future.
Yep.
Look, the retail apocalypse is real, but this is one company that seems to be surviving it. I mean, if you want to knock that it's had a bit of a recovery, that's fair, but the valuation is forgiving, and the sector of sports apparel and sports equipment is one that's, it's not immune to online. It's certainly not immune, but it's more protected than, let's say, apparel is to online consumption.
There's two components to this that work against Dick's, and that's number one, the margin compression. And the margin compression story has been significant as you've had the transformation towards digital, which is now 70% of its sales. So in gaining momentum in digital, you're losing some of the margin power that you previously had. Hard lines and equipment, which is 43% of Dick's business, has also struggled. We had challenges, not enough positive momentum in terms of apparel and footwear. So in March, they're going to give the full year guidance. I agree with John. I think it's late for this note. I think this is a stock that probably trades more towards 45. But
Wait. You think it's late for the note?
I think it's late for the
stock's had this run. I mean, why would you want them to do it earlier and miss part of the run?
Well, let me correct myself. When I say it's late for the note, I'm incorrect in saying that. What I should be saying is I disagree completely. There's further upside.
And I agree. Going into the holiday season,
I'm not trying to get you. Looking for clarity. Right. That's all.
But I think going into the holiday season, if we have a milder winter, I don't follow Dick's Sporting Goods. We don't at Loop Capital, but we are somewhat bullish, I should say. Let me clear that back. Somewhat bullish on retail going into this next holiday season. And I think Dick's should hopefully benefit from that, especially you get some milder weather. Jim's going to go out and buy some baseball mitts and hang out for the wintertime.
I really like hearing this, Kate. There are very few firms that are willing to take a stand against the grain on retail, right? Everybody loves to hate retail. Good for you guys for going against the grain. I like that.
Absolutely, and got some good names in it to put folks in if they want to play the game.
So how about this part of the note at the bottom? This is interesting, okay? We question the long-term relevancy to the consumer. Why hasn't Dick's performed better when practically all of its competitors have gone away in the last few years? That's a legit question.
It is. Yeah, when SportsMart, closes its doors.
Sports Authority, bye-bye.
Yep.
What is it, Jim? You cover it.
Sorry. I mean, look, the most important quarter is the fourth quarter. Last year's fourth quarter was terrible for everyone. It was a bad time in the economy. I think that looks too much in the rearview mirror. Let's talk in January. Dick's should have a great fourth quarter right now, along with the rest of retail.
Is it rear view, or is it trying to look forward and say, if you haven't performed better when a lot of your competitors have disappeared, how can we bank on the fact that you're going to perform even better than you've already done when you couldn't do it when the others were out of here?
Look, he's got an opinion. That's fine. Sports Authority went under about 2 years ago. That's legit. But the fourth quarter of 2018 was terrible for everyone, and that's what he's pointing to if he's looking at comps. Let's talk about the fourth quarter of this year, which is lining up so far, as long as the consumer hangs in there, we've talked about that, Joe, to be a good holiday selling season. That's what matters for retail.
You also have to worry about the weather. Weather becomes an issue. Warm weather, Dick's is going to have a tough Q4 and a tough Q1.
Not going to have to worry about that this weekend here.
So warm weather, and it did snow on Halloween in Wisconsin when I was there. So, I mean, it could go either way.
It's going to be in the 20s later this week in the morning.
So you think if they don't have a mild one that we have a problem?
Mild weather will be bad for Dick's.
Okay.